you ever feel that homeschooling is just a battle? The teen is zoning out, they're getting frustrated, and you're left there wondering, is any of this even sticking? Now, I was chatting to a mom today about this thing specifically, and she was saying how her teen is struggling with history. She finds it super boring, and they're wondering, what's the point at the end of the day in this digital world that we live in at the moment where information is so readily accessible? Should she not just be focusing on her art and building up her digital art skills? Now, I saw an opportunity there, and our discussion turned into, what if you did both? Here's where AI really comes in as a powerful tool to help you to really build her communication skills while still learning that at the same time, but taking out of this thing of learning for learning's sake, just to maybe write an essay or some sort of recap on what she's been learning, and turn this into an active way where she can build skills, build a portfolio, and show her learning at the same time. Now, this is a really cool use case for AI. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. 3 really cool tools that you can do. They're free. But before we do that, I want to invite you to join our waitlist for our upcoming course, Me, Myself, and AI. But if you join the waitlist before the course launches, you'll get completely free access. There'll be no charge to you whatsoever. This is a really cool course. It's going to show you and your team really how to build your skills, empower your learning, and just really enrich your homeschooling experience using AI, not to replace you, but to really amplify and augment the amazing work that you guys are already doing. So head over down below. The link will be somewhere in the description of this video or in the message which this video was sent to you on WhatsApp. So go check that out. Now, let's dive in. Now, instead of just writing essays, what if your teen could actually turn a history lesson into a podcast, an animation, or even a rock song? And not only do they learn better, they can actually build real life skills that are very useful and can have a portfolio to show for applying to college, getting a job, maybe studying business. Now, the 3 tools which I'm going to introduce you today are Perplexity, Suno, and ChatGPT. You probably heard of the last one, but the other 2 are really cool as well. So Perplexity is basically a deep research tool that's powered by AI. It's sort of like Google search on steroids that can actually give you sources and actually brings up much more than that resources. The next one is Suno, which basically creates artificial intelligence musics, which is really fun. And we're going to take ChatGPT to work with both of those to get you a really cool creative learning outcome. Okay, so to kick us off, basically I've come into Google and typed in the most boring topics in high school history. So for example, here we're going to look at something maybe obscure wars, everyday past eras. These are sort of things I remember as a teen, really, really boring. But basically you would look at whatever topic your teen is doing in history or biology or whatever it is that they're struggling to sort of stay engaged with. Then, for example, I've come here and I've looked at what could be different options. So here's one, for example, that would have come maybe from a CAPS curriculum or something like that. So I'm just going to take an example like this. Then you're going to head over to Perplexity. Now you can just create yourself an account. That's relatively easy to do. And then it's going to ask you, what do you want to know? Okay, so you're basically going to see something like this. I'm researching in search topics. So here it's changing work and lives in South Africa, the lands and cities in the 20th century. As part of my homeschooling history assignment, I want very detailed info on what it was like back then compared to now. Now, basically going to head over here. You can do auto. That's pretty decent all around, but you'll see you get deep research. And this is really cool. You get 3 of these per day on the free version of Perplexity, and you're literally going to just then click search, and you'll see here it's going to actually start to think about it. And this is something that's very, very powerful about Perplexity compared to some of the other artificial intelligence tools. So for example, with ChatGPT, I found that it just answers, whether it really knows exactly what it's talking about or not. It's sort of designed to give a response no matter what. But what I found now with Perplexity is that it actually takes a lot more time to actually think about what you're trying to do. It makes a plan on how it's going to do that. You can see it's literally showing what it's doing. It started to search on different websites and records. And this is really cool. So it's building up hypothesis. You can see it's reading all of these sites. Well, this is hectic. This would take me a really, really long time to go through myself. You see, it's literally already gone through 20 different sources, and it's reading everything that it has. You see, it's now starting to look at how it can get even more information specifically about cultural aspects in daily life. So now it's going deeper than just sort of the surface level things. It's already at 37 sources. So you can see this is a really, really, really powerful tool. Okay, so you can see it's giving me an answer. That took about 3 to 4 minutes overall, which for AI is incredibly long. If you use ChatGPT or Meta AI, you'll know how fast that actually is. You can see it still went through 37 courses and sources, but here it's giving a really, really in-depth breakdown. You can see all these tabs here are sources which you can go and check out for yourself, which is really, really cool. And a lot of these are often big university reports or in-depth researches that were done. So basically it's still loading its report here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this context. So this is really going to give you a much broader overview than just what's in a textbook, for example, or in one website if you're doing some sort of school assignment. And this is going to give you a very, very, very broad context that you can work with. So I'm literally going to head over here and click copy. And then we're going to head over back to ChatGPT. And I'm literally just saying I've done some deep research on a history high school assignment. I've spelled this incorrectly on purpose. So you can see like ChatGPT doesn't need to worry about spelling, which is really cool. As a homeschooler, I want to find again, spelling error here, a more interesting way to work with this information. So you can see I've intentionally put some errors here. You'll see that it makes no difference at all, which is another really cool tool here. So here is the research content. Now I'm literally just going to add 2 lines. So I'm just going to type in, take a moment to read this and let me know when you're ready for the next step. I'm going to click send. It's going to take a few moments and you'll see this is going to be a lot faster than Perplexity. But basically look at the amount of data it's going in. The cool thing when you copy, it also pulls all your citations. So if you were needing to do some Harvard referencing or something like that for a given reason, against all your sources that you're working with. So you can see it's gone through that, it's looked at it, it's ready. Okay, so I've typed in here, I want to write a pop song in the style of Taylor Swift to help me learn the key points and themes for this. Write me the lyrics for a song like this about the differences between that era and now in South Africa. Now, why I'm doing this section in ChatGPT is Suno can do lyrics, but I find that it doesn't give very strong outcomes. ChatGPT is really good at this sort of task. It's starting, you can see it's all built in gold, and here we go. It's starting to write these out. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to copy all of this and head over to Suno. Let's just let it finish. So you can see this is a really cool way to just take this huge amount of data here with all these sources, which can be very overwhelming to process. And even if you are going to read them again later or look at them in a different context, to do this in a song is just a really cool way to maybe change it a bit up for the brain and make the learning a bit more interesting. So basically it's coming up, it's almost done. Here comes the outro. Cool. Now we're going to copy this section here, just the lyrics. The top here. We're going to copy and then we're going to head over to Suno. So basically it's over here. This is what that looks like. Okay, so I'm already logged in. You might have to do that again if you didn't have an account. Just click over here on create. This is how you get to the actual section, the actual song. Now we're going to go here to custom, make sure that's toggled. And you're going to go here, enter your own lyrics. So here, put it in here as is. It's got the name of the song and everything. We can just copy the title, go to gold. I'm going to go down here to title. Then we're going to type in here, Taylor Swift style pop. That's literally all you have to do. And you click create. Again, it's going to take maybe a minute or two. These are all different fun, silly ones I've done with the kids. And different people I've been showing. I've literally done everything from like how to play a specific Dutch card game to a song about the history of candy floss. So you can literally do absolutely anything. This is the really cool thing about Suno. Okay, so I did have a bit of an error there. I think it was just because I typed in Taylor Swift, which is obviously some sort of copyrighted style, but I just put in here pop meets indie folk. It's basically the same thing. Okay. And what it's done here is give me the song, which is really, really cool because it's like right there.
They told us stories about the land so wide, rolling fields where dreams could hide. But then they drew the lines, locked the gates, said this part's yours, that part's fate.
Basically, there's a really simple version of having to spend a lot of time on tweaking that. But you could do this about like cell structure. This could be about any topic at all. And it'll write you a song which you can tweak and change and do different styles. Especially for some teens, listening to music is something that they really enjoy doing. And they can make themselves a little playlist, maybe on different elements that they're trying to learn about or see. It's just fun and yet. Now let's go back here and say, for example, I want to turn this into a digital art piece. Give me 5 ideas for style and references, include metaphors, graphic imagery, links to how the meaning comes through in the art. But basically, it's going to do, again, take this huge load of research, which is very overwhelming, and it's going to turn that into just some ideas I can do for an digital art piece. So here it's got maybe a collage art. ChatGPT loves collages. You'll see that. It often suggests that, and then it's going to give you some different ideas. So you can see here it's gone into like maybe different imagery elements. And obviously it's also good using torn newspaper textures. It also symbolizes policies like the land act. So you see this, it is thinking about this quite deeply. And it's showing different ways. It's also got links to actually her style because it asked it to give me a reference. So it's really coming through and giving me different ideas. So this is a good way to start off. What I would also recommend is to say something like, do you have any improvement suggestions? I want to make an amazing piece of digital art. You could include things like maybe a specific style that you want to do. You could also tell it what program you look at specifically, if there's one that you specifically like to do, or a technique, colors, absolutely anything that you want to sort of add into the thinking process. You can do that, and then it's basically to go through that again and try and give it a bit more of a stronger approach. So here already suggesting maybe a hybrid approach, combining multiple styles, and maybe stronger metaphors, amplifying the message. And so I think whatever you want to do, this is obviously like quite a loaded one about apartheid and South African history. But again, this is a cool way to take something that is quite overwhelming and quite a big topic and turn it into something that is a bit more maybe easy to deal with or easy to process through, like art. And then what I would suggest is once your team is done with that, to ask them to present that to you, to explain to you what's going on. And this is really where the powerful part comes in, is they haven't just made something, but they can actually communicate through that. And then they've got a really cool piece of portfolio, which they can actually show what they've learned and what they can do. So again, this is the tool here, Perplexity. This is really to give you very, very deep research. And the cool thing here is you could ask specific follow-ups. So maybe, for example, what's it like to be 18 in both times? Now, for example, now it's going to go ahead and research just this specific question again on top of all this data. This is why Perplexity is really cool. And you can see that every time it's taking its time to research that again. We've got Suno, which is the music application tool. And then we have ChatGPT, which is a much more versatile all-rounder that can really help us to actually process that into something useful. Again, it doesn't have to be art. It could be absolutely anything. You could ask it maybe to write a short story in the style I made one of your favorite authors about a girl that was living this time or something like that. Or it could be, a cooking recipe, a range of 5 recipes that are inspired by this narrative. So really you can get creative, like what does your team like? What are they passionate about? And how can you take those skills and build them while still engaging with the learning and making the learning a bit more relevant to what they're actually learning in the real day? If you're interested to find out more about how AI can amplify your schooling and your bigger life beyond that for you and your team, make sure you sign up for the waitlist for me, myself, and AI. Remember, if you've signed up for the waitlist before the course launches, you will get that absolutely for free. Remember, you don't have to be tech savvy to make this work. This is about making homeschooling easier for you and more engaging for your team. And my advice to you is just start small. Choose one of these today, give it a try, and see how that can empower you guys together.